What's up, crypto family?
Mhm.
We got NFT Culture here for our happy hour, and everybody is tired from NFT NYC. What's going on, everybody?
I am energized, man, after meeting all you guys and so many cool people. I mean, I didn't have to plan the party though, so I just got to enjoy it.
That's what I'm talking about. See, I'm more fired now than I have ever been on NFTs.
I mean, after that experience, how can you not be bullish on this community? Like, it's nuts. Everybody is amazing and friendly,
Right?
and I am so hyped.
Malachi, you too?
You know, and I've said it a couple times on the Discords and the Twitters. Like, I'm more hyped than I've ever been. I'm super excited about this community. I'm super excited about GM. It's feeling a little less early than it did a year ago, almost a year ago to the day, when we were all in the backyard talking about who the F Beeple was. And then, getting pretty heavy into NFTs immediately after that. But just seeing all the billboards, every screen that you could see had some sort of NFT project. You saw Too Much Lag. You saw, the world knows what NFTs. And what's also cool is how many New Yorkers were asking you, what is an NFT? What's an NFT? What's this NFT thing? And it's just a sign how early we still are. It's also just a sign that, this space, just seeing the space, seeing the maturity, it definitely was a confidence boost.
Yeah, for sure, Mal. I have to second that. All the people on the street asking questions about what NFTs are, it made you realize, although there's a ton of people going to the events, man, we're just scratching the surface. And I feel like more of these coming up, more of these conferences in Miami, in Vegas, this scene is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's exciting, super exciting.
I love it.
It was surreal walking into Christie's auction house and standing there looking at the Beeple exhibit with a bunch of other people I didn't know, but somebody's got a Bored Ape Yacht Club hoodie on. And I'm like, GM. And they're like, GM, yeah. And it's just having a conversation about NFTs in the middle of Christie's for like an hour.
Yeah, it's really, it couldn't have started any better for us. It could have started better, but I do want to give a shout out to Sven at the Mad Pups. We all landed the day of the party, so we threw a VIP event. We're going to be putting some more of those pictures up the first day, and I was feeling good. Everything's going to go well, and we get there and we think we have time to get everything set up. And the art gallery, like all the TVs are still in boxes, and it's like 2 hours before showtime. And we're like, okay, they got it figured out. Party's starting at like 4, and at like 3:50, we're like, where are the bartenders? What's going on? The venue messed up, and they didn't start it till they thought it wasn't starting till 6, but they impressed the hell out of me, fixing it, making sure if you were the first 5 people there, you might have noticed something, but everyone else, I think, that showed up wouldn't have noticed a hitch. And then, just to put how awesome our community is, and all the communities that joined us, the positivity, the curiosity, the intellectual curiosity, and just the fact that, when if you had told me that the artists that showed up, we'd even be able to meet and interact with a year ago, I'd be like, no, you're crazy. Like the artists that just came and chilled and had fun with us. And it was just the perfect start to the event, and the positivity and the New York City skyline at sunset, and just the vibe of like something bigger than us, something bigger than each and every one of us, but bigger than NFT culture, bigger than any NFT project. The energy of the city was just contagious. And then you just walk around that night and you see all of the NFT NYC sweatshirts. You see all the ape sweatshirts, Cool Cat pins, and everyone doxing themselves. That was the other thing that was crazy to see, is like, you talk to these people for a year online and you don't know who they are. You don't know what they look like. And people know what we look like because we're on camera. But we don't know any of these people, and you're surprised a few times at who they are. But then, it's the hug, and then it's just like you've known them your whole lives. And it was
everyone calls me bro on the forum, so they really don't know what I look like.
That is a flaw of it. It's not crypto. It's STEM still, right? I think it's just it's a byproduct of that. Get real quick, and then I'll shut up again. But Rob and I attended the Gary V event that next morning, the fireside chat, and Gary V was on fire. He was hot to talk about some topics and definitely throw some hot takes into things. And he was talking about the broader community and a lot of the issues of the PFP pictures. But one thing was interesting is he was asked about the lack of women and the lack of diversity in the space, and we agree that there is definitely a lack of it and there needs to be more of it. But what was really cool is Gary Vee asked in the audience to stand up. If you're a woman, stand up. And I was shocked at how many women there were in the room. And Gary Vee said, see, when it was Web 2.0, there would have been maybe a tenth of this. And so there's still a lot to fix. There's still a lot to do, but we're better than we were. We're all going to continue to get better. So everything was just incredibly positive.
And then Rafiq.
Yeah, Rob, agreed. I was going to ask what the favorite event for everybody was, but before we went there, I wanted to just kind of piggyback on what Mal was talking about earlier. One of the coolest things besides people doxing themselves was a lot of devs behind projects, like the amount of alpha that was leaked, that never happens over Discord. I mean, you figure out who they are and then they start, it's like put a few drinks in people. And
I think it was the drinks, John.
Spilling their projects about spilling their guts about where the projects are going, man. That was my, that's my alpha for everybody. If you get a chance, go to these conferences, especially if there's projects you're following, because man, they just pour it all out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was the drinks though, John.
Yeah.
And your charming attitude.
All right, dude. Let's go back to Rafiq. Let's talk about favorite part of the conference, other than our party. I think, for me at least, it was definitely Rafiq. Rob,
dude, not only have I loved his art, and I love the data aspect of it, and I've loved how he makes those data AI type of installations on it. But man, what an immersive experience.
Dude, so
have
awesome.
You ever had any type of immersive art experience like that before? The new Van Gogh that's been traveling around is close to it, but man, nothing as immersive, as beautiful, as stunning as that Rafiq exhibit. I loved it.
It's wild. I don't know if Mal, have you posted any of the videos from Rafiq's showcase?
I haven't. I'm going to. I'll do it in the next day or two. It's just been kind of getting caught up to it. I'll try and pull up a video of it here, but it's insane. You can't. It's still. I think it's still up. I'm actually not sure about that. But what's crazy is they're all 16K projectors, and it's just this firm square. You get discombobulated. We went sober, and the whole room is spinning, and it's such an experience. There's people that are just Mike and I just sat on the floor next to each other and just took it all in, and really enjoyed it and had a lot of fun. Sorry, I didn't know how loud it was. Really, I have it muted, but it was just really interesting to take in and just be overwhelmed by this, and the fact that we were able to collect NFTs out of it too was icing.
And then the line. I was just blown away by the line of people spending $2,000, $2,000, $2,000, $2,000. I went over to the host of the event who were signing people up, and I was like, don't you think this is a little crazy? Everyone's just sitting in line saying, take my money. It's $2,000. They're like, yeah, this is crazy. It's like, yeah, it's crazy.
Dude, what I noticed was all the people that were sitting there. I was there for, that was basically the entire exhibit that Mal just popped up there. There was a little tiny private room where you could see a little bit more, but there were people in there for hours just sitting there, just taking it all in. I went through 2 rotations of people there.
It's amazing. I was about to Uber some food in, bro, and hang out.
You should have.
Pizza would be so appropriate.
No, I thought it was awesome. Great.
Now I'm having issues. Yeah, it was beautiful. It was cool. It was cool it felt like you're a part of the art and a part of the experience. And We were trying to get some of the Rafik pieces earlier on Nifty Gateway, and the floor on the first set of pieces was, I think, like 35-40 grand at one point. And it's crazy to see the art, and it's crazy that the floor is doubled, even though there's 1,000 of them that were minted. And it goes back to the entire event. My biggest regret is that the second night, we were a little spent from the first night, and I'm thankful that we were all as a team like able to go just eat some burgers and watch some baseball. But you see all the other pictures that were taken at these events and stuff, and I can tell you, I experienced quite a bit of FOMO from missing out on all of the other parties. I left before Ape Fest, and then seeing Beck open, the Strokes come on and play, Chris Rock was there, like all these crazy things are happening, and then the Beeple Dreamverse, like there's just so much stuff that happened, and we had the calendars, we knew all the stuff, and it was still just chaotic to pull and understand.
I do hope that Nifty Land in Vegas, though, has more of that trade show style. I was looking for booths. I wanted that kind of thing. I wanted vendors. I wanted to see what little projects and what little technology and things like that are around. But I guess it was just the first try.
I don't. Nifty World is going to be a massive party. Like Steve Aoki and all of them are going to be there. So it's going to probably be this times 11. Nifty Land also probably, hopefully, will be more like that. And I think we're going to see probably a couple different things. There's going to be like a tech conference, and then there's going to be the party conference. There's going to be Art Basel is coming to Miami again, and I think there's going to be massive focus there. I would be surprised if at least part of the NFT culture team isn't at Art Basel. And then, I think that we have an opportunity to help mold some of the tech and maybe have a hackathon for NFTs or something else.
I will be there.
All right. Well, we have 2 guests of honor, and because of the logistics of screens, I am going to take John and I off for a little bit, and then swap. We'll swap in and out just so that we can keep it cohesive. But Rob, I'll let you introduce the team.
What's up, Richard?
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey, how are you guys?
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, yeah.
Yeah.
Floor
I hear
C,
you guys
is it
are out
right?
of
Floor
Baltimore.
C.
Yes, Rob, nice to meet you. You got that
I'm
right.
up in Hampstead, so I'm real close to you guys.
You guys are close?
Yeah, I'm like less than an hour outside of Baltimore.
Oh,
Nice.
awesome.
I'm in the Bay, actually. Rich is holding down B more for me.
Nice.
Very awesome, guys. Well, thanks for taking some time to come on the show today.
Stoked to be here. Really.
This is awesome. This is great.
We've been long fans of the project. Even when we first started the project, I kept sharing all the videos from NFT Culture to the team. Being like, this is great user research. Like, watch every single one of these videos and wildly expand your, understanding of the NFT space. And so it's been a great learning process. So we're really excited to come on the show. So thanks for having us.
That's awesome. Well, hey guys, tell me. So I think we want to talk about your new project, right?
Yes,
I think it's already live though, right? Some of it's already live.
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about the where did the concept come from, and tell us a little bit of background about the project, please.
Sure. You want to start, Floor?
I will start with how we met, and then I'm gonna kick it to you because I think that that's really
I like that.
So, Rich and I met earlier. Well, we've known each other for years. We actually both went to Hopkins and MICA, Maryland Institute College of Art, for grad school. We got dual masters, MBAs in human-centered design degrees. And we connected earlier in about February. And the idea was like, I had just lost my job. Rich was posted something on LinkedIn, and I actually think I'm going to post it and share with folks that he was looking to do projects in the NFT space. And I was just like, I'll go with you. And we ended up DMing each other. And when he says that he posted and shared that link, he was like, every day we met for 2 hours and we asked ourselves, how might we change an NFT world? How might we impact it better? And this has been an amazing journey. I can't believe, 8 months later, we actually have a baby out there in the world. Luke, who's not with us, is one of our other co-founders. But it really started with wanting to do something really special for the community. Really wanting to bring something quality in terms of a art aesthetic. And I've just been really grateful for Rich and all of the folks in the community that is breeding education and trying to do things in a smart way, in a beautiful way, and thoughtful way, and considerate, that has been able to kind of push us to thinking about how do we make a better NFT. So I wanted to kind of really ground us in how we came together, because it does start from our academics and really this idea of like business in mind and thinking about humanity when creating a product. So Rich, tell them about Spooky Fresh.
Yeah,
Spooky
Forrest
Fresh
keeps our team fresh. I'm more of the spooky one. Yeah, the project is called Spooky Fresh. We're really working on building like a collaborative ecosystem that allow kind of other artists to be able to contribute to generative art, but doing so in like a substantial, like a socially impactful way. So we launched Spooky Fresh. We have our beta series of 333 NFTs that are currently both pre-revealed on OpenSeas, and minting is currently live on our website, spookyfresh.com. We have lots and lots of ambitious plans for the project. So we just kind of been rapidly iterating to kind of to get something to market. And so there is kind of 18 different spirit forces in our genome. The idea is like these things are kind of like ghosts of the machine, and our job is to kind of bring them to life. So there's 18 different spirit forces, and each one of those spirit forces is staked, or it corresponds to one of the different 18 or one of the different 17 UN sustainability goals, as you can see on our Tesla Rect there. So there are the 17 UN sustainability goals in addition to the Creative Commons. And so all of the NFTs that we release and each subsequent layer, because these are ERC 1155, they're composable NFTs. So each one of the layers is staked to different UN sustainability goal. We have a portion of, right now, 6% of our secondary sales go toward impact. And if you hold an NFT within one of those verticals, you'll be able to vote in our Fresh DAO on one curatorial. So like, what other artists are we going to bring in to release future drops, as well as, where those resources are going to go in order to help sustain impact. As we grow, we're really going to we really want to build the largest kind of impact community in the NFT space, and really find a way to like, how can we scale impact? So it's not just about like rarity. It's about like, we're creating an NFT that literally will evolve and have asynchronous layers that will evolve based off of different kind of campaigns over the time. So the value of your NFT is like based off of like what you are actually doing and what the NFT is actually doing in the real world. So yeah, we're trying to build an NFT of the future, and we launched this on Polygon because I think where we're wanting to go, we really need a system that's going to be able to scale, and super high gas fees isn't the way to go for that. Again, these are composable, so you'll be able to collect them, swap out different layers. Those layers will be either like artist drops, so working with different artists in the NFT space and other nonprofit organizations, so we can build like fun, creative campaigns to where you can have NFTs that level up. The example we like to really give when we're talking to people is one of our concept pieces where we have been working on is like a project which would hypothetically be, we haven't actually partnered with Team Trees, but as an example, Team Trees, every dollar you give Team Trees, they plant one tree. So if we could have an NFT that actually used that as a data visualization, where either like your layer grew a tree, or like a background evolved over time as a wallet address increased in its like the number of tokens or whatever was going into it, we could do some some really awesome thing with like those dynamic asynchronous layers. So that's where we're going. We launched a small series of 333 for some early adopters.
And when was that drop date?
Well, we launched on Halloween. We actually were originally going to launch a lot more, but everybody in the NFT space's eyes were on Twitter. I'm sorry, on New York. You guys, everyone was in New York.
Yeah.
I didn't get the invite, so you talk about that FOMO.
That's what I was wondering.
On the West Coast, like, go represent for us, go have fun.
Yeah, and most people on our team, we've been just working on this, part time for like 6 months, just trying to steadily grow. So we didn't have a huge marketing budget. This is all kind of just bootstrapped.
Yeah.
So we wanted to start small and have like a smaller win than just kind of like dump all these things out there. So we, just keep iterating. Got a new website coming out next week, and
that's incredible.
So you would summarize the projects like you said. These are kind of like spirits or ghosts in a machine.
Yeah, there's spirit guides of the metaverse. It's kind of like
Spirit
our tag
guides.
phrase.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. That's what I'm trying to write it all down. Spirit guides. I like that.
Our lore is based off of like Nikola Tesla. So like as the story goes, in the early 19th century, he summoned the spirit world to like aid in the transformation of mankind, and he flips on this Tesla coil, and out pops this spooky fresh, this little ghost. He synthesizes its genome, and was able to like modify it to unlock these new layers. So that's kind of where we're going with. Our genome is also really awesome. I think is built like a little Kimoji genome, like emoticon. It's on our Twitter. You can see one right in our name. But again, they're kind of like spirit. They're kind of like ghosts in the machine. So it's like, how can we give life to this like digital entity in multiple ways? So like they exist just in their genome. They're visually expressed like through the form of a Kimoji, just looking at them. And if you look through them, we put a lot of time into making sure each one of those like Unicode characters matched its actual trait, and then the traits themselves, are rendered. So has multiple forms.
Can you speak a little bit to the impact piece of it again? So how do you guys coordinating any type of impact, giving back to the community or things like that? I heard you speak of it briefly.
Yeah,
Can you elaborate on that, please? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lorcy.
So from the impact piece, there's couple things that we're doing. From the product line, we wanted each of these the genomes, the spirit forces, which are 18 of them, to align it to one of the 17 sustainability goals, plus the Creative Commons, which is the creative world. And so in the secondary sales, so first it'll go through primary sales. We wrote in the smart contract for 3% to go to that will be owned and led by the community to our community DAO, and they will decide which organization should that money go to as it grows. Not only will the community DAO be deciding who will be benefiting from the sustainability goals and from that piece and the money that we're garnering there, they're also going to be thinking about how do we roll out our strategy around our product? What layers should we be adding? How do we think about the features and that functionality? And so that's kind of the bits and pieces of that.
Awesome.
And there's another piece to it, and I want to hold back because I know Rich kind of gives all of the technical and where people are saying pull back, do less. The other piece of this is we imagine ourselves potentially partnering with brands and nonprofits and creating specific products that are aligned to them. And that NFT itself, or that line, as it grows adoption in the market and people are buying and collecting it, it's one, generating revenue for a particular nonprofit or organization or brand or individual. And additionally, it's also having this evolutionary impact where the layers are evolving and they're shifting. So think about an example that we try to use is if Bitcoin, if it's going up and it's pumping, it's going to be really happy. If it's going down and it's sad, one of the layers would be sad as well. And so those are some of the ways that we're thinking about utilizing the power of smart contracts to enable social impact.
I love that. Very cool. Very cool.
That's awesome. I
Yeah,
love your focus on environmental impact and the local community. And I'm glad you guys came on to talk about this. Like I said, you're really close. I want to get involved. I have some connections at MICA and with some environmental nonprofits in the area. So yeah, this is really cool.
What was the mint price on those? What did you guys do for mint?
They're 120 Matic.
Yeah, that ended up surprising us a bit. We were going to mint, and it was like going to be 150, and then of course Matic did really well, as the whole cryptocurrency did well, and so we actually lowered it to 120.
Okay,
and that's one of the reasons actually why we reduced the size of the release, is because we want it to be more. We want this to be for the community. We're going below the market for a specific reason, so we actually had to lower the price a little bit because of the conversions that are happening. And I mean, it's great that we're all making money in the crypto world, but we also want to make sure that we right size the value of the NFTs. But this is our Genesis launch, and we're really excited to have it. We have some really good reception so far and feedback, even at the 120.
I was going to make a comment like, this is a really good use case for, and John is our resident token expert. But when you think about the flexibility that comes with Polygon and Matic and what you can do with it, I think that the vision that you guys have for this project, it's the perfect platform. And I do think that when you look at Dune Analytics, for example, the ETH marketplace on OpenSea is there's a lot of theories, but if ETH is too high, people don't want to pay gas fees. They don't want to transact. They don't want to do those types of things. But buying your NFTs on Polygon, I do think that long term there will be a little bit more growth in that sector, especially when you think about the flexibility and the utility of that, right? Ethereum is great because it comes with the permanence, but then when you think of interactivity and those types of things, Polygon is great. We're seeing a lot of the NFT games being built on Polygon and everything else. So it is really interesting, and it's a good project. It comes with a good foundation. John, do you have any thoughts? Did I contradict anything or say anything inaccurate?
Nope, I think you nailed it. I'm curious, when folks mint, they're going to be able to see it on OpenSea on Polygon right away.
Yeah, I mean, they're pre-rendered. We're still working on a few, kind of debugging a few things on the website. But yeah, after you mint, you can just head straight over to OpenSea and you'll be able to see your NFT.
Any thoughts about the ability to bridge over to Ethereum? Take those mints to Ethereum?
I think we really kind of have.
Yeah.
We really love the idea of kind of being like a multi-chain, like having multi-chain drops. For us, like just the environmental issues currently for Ethereum were like a non-starter. Once like Ethereum 2.0 rolls out, gas prices are cheaper, and I think some of the CO2 emission things are kind of resolved. And then I certainly, kind of why we're on Matic is also so we can kind of be nimble, and if we need to move over into Ethereum later on, we can do that. But we also have, as a team, really love the idea of doing drops on some other chains. Again, we want to build a community, and I don't know, it's much easier if we kind of meet those users, meet those consumers where they're at. So we've looked at potentially doing a drop on Tezos. I know there's a big community on Solana. So, just thinking about how we can do that creatively in a way that's going to keep adding value for our Genesis series, which we have right now, as well as like how we're going to like build creatively on what we're doing. So it's not just like pumping tons of these NFTs into the world, but find ways that we can level up, have some burn mechanics, all kinds of fun things, which it's just a matter of time and resource. This is just kind of our kickstart to get to the next phase and like get our word out there. So
yeah, I'd like to add one thing. John, you asked, do we see ourselves bridging with ETH? And definitely ETH is just a respectable. That's where you see the blue chip NFTs. But for us, we're in this for the long haul, and we placed our bets on Polygon as a long-term, proof of stake, and the ability that we want to do with the layers and innovation and building utility into our project. Like, we're like, look, we're in it for like the next 5 years, 10 years. Like, this is not a pump and dump for us. And so we've been really placing our users at the center, designing this platform, designing the product, and saying, how do we make this world better? And we're starting at the edges. And the edge right now is at Polygon. And as it moves forward and it starts to meet and build in the middle and meet to what ETH is doing in terms of volume, I think we're going to be pretty like ahead of the curve there. And we're really excited to lead the way in terms of thinking about the community and thinking about social impact.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I was just curious, a lot of folks that are launching projects, they have to, I love Polygon, but, if you want to, raise money and fundraise for future, then, ETH has got a lot of money sloshing around. Or Polygon, you're probably getting a lot of passionate people that are going to be involved from the community perspective. So it's a trade-off. Just curious what your thoughts were.
Yeah, it's a hard trade-off. It's been a hard one for us, even from a tech perspective. So
yeah,
I know you guys got only a couple more minutes, but what would be the future roadmap that you guys would say in like a couple sentences? Because I know you just did this first drop is 333. Are you going to do more drops of this series, or what does the rest of the roadmap look like?
Well, the currently the plan is to release 1,100 essentially of each Spirit Force, so right around 20,000 NFTs altogether. Each Spirit Force will be its own kind of with own release with its own layers, working with kind of different artists. And then after that, essentially, we'll allow the artist or the community itself and the DAO to say, do we want to like close the portal and keep spookies scarce, or do we want to open them up and scale our impact? Even then, though, we can continue like having drops regardless of like the number of spookies that are added layers and different layers, whether that's like eyes and mouths, ears, backgrounds, music tracks. We're really looking into like some cool interactive like JavaScript layers and all kinds of fun stuff. But currently right around 20,000 is where we see like our current roadmap.
And some full utility. That's it for us.
That's
full
awesome.
utility to be able to pay artists sustainably and partner with nonprofits and brands and really growing this into a mainstream product. That's the roadmap for us.
That's awesome. Rich, can I rehash something really quick? Because I'm not sure if I caught that. You said right now 300 spookies are going to be calling the shots for whether or not there's more spookies in the future. Did I hear you right there?
Once we release 1,100 of each Spirit Force.
Okay. And there's 7 Spirit Forces?
There's 18.
9. 18. Got it.
And so those 18 Spirit Forces also kind of be released over probably around 2-year time frame. So they're not all at once. They'll be spaced out.
I think that's brilliant. Oh, sorry, John. I
was going to say, anybody good with math? Know how many that is?
Yeah, it's around 20 plus thousand.
20,000.
It's also.
Okay.
I was going to say that like we chose an arbitrary number. Every PFP project I can't even talk anymore. Chose an arbitrary number based on the number that the punks did, right? And like if we're gonna GM all day and say we're early, hopefully we're not early forever, and hopefully we do broaden the aperture or widen the aperture of people that are into NFTs. And so purpose building. And, one of the things that's interesting is y'all haven't talked about rarity at all. And like, there's a lot of things that go on about social responsibility and all this type of stuff. And this is one of the first projects that I'm seeing that's really has a roadmap for the future involvement in NFT. And I think that that's exciting. I think it's experimental. I do think that there are the opportunities for value, and there's also candidly also opportunities for risk, but there have to be trailblazers. There have to be people that get out ahead of that. So I commend you for going out ahead of that and really trying something new and unique.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the platform. Thank you for allowing us to share our idea and the feedback. As founders, it's a hard road, and so we appreciate that confidence.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts?
You coming back on, right?
Forever
Absolutely.
fresh.
Yeah.
I can't wait to talk to you more about it. That'll our second talk will be exciting too.
We'll get us off as we've had a year to get in the trenches and be all negative about everything. We'll let Lauren be positive and make sure that we focus on everything, because
everything's all new and shiny and exciting for me.
Well, and the social responsibility and the environmental impact, like coming from your lens as a pure artist and coming from artist communities, I think you represent the intersection of technology and art, and that's why we were so blessed and thankful to have you become, part of us, to be able to ask the questions that we're so entrenched. We talk fast and talk about the technology because we've been doing it for a year. But I can't wait to dive deeper. And this is exactly the type of project that is doing not just one experimental thing, but 3 or 4 experimental things that are really interesting for us.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Megan. Everybody come hop on our Discord. Our doors are open. If you guys have feedback, good, bad, whatever it might be, let us know. We don't want to operate in our own bubble. So, come join us.
Can't wait. Hey, and thank you, Richard, for coming to our event.
Oh, yeah, awesome.
Richard, thank you.
Such a great event. Yeah.
Also a fantastic photographer.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work on NFT, he definitely has a career in photography.
He's a polymath. He's got his masters, he's got his NFTs, he's got his photography. You don't meet many that are.
I mainly paint murals, so if anybody has a NFT that wants a mural painted, I would love to do that.
That's awesome. You can come paint my wall.
Yeah, easy.
I'm flying you out here. You can paint my wall.
Like at least 1 story to 2 story tall, but I'll hook you up, Rob.
Nice.
Make his house a mural. All right,
I got a lot of plain barns. I don't know. Can we make this like a trend in Maryland to start painting giant barns with cool NFT murals?
Yeah.
Why not? We can do whatever we want.
It'd be awesome.
Well, you guys I think I heard on an earlier show you guys are planning on opening a coffee shop up or a shop.
That's right, and a sushi shop.
A sushi shop. That's it.
Yeah, do it.
Because you're Bored Ape, your sushi shop. Mm-hmm. So yeah, perfect. I'll come paint that one.
Let's do it. We got a long road until then, but we'll do it soon. It was nice to see you.
Thanks, Richard.
Bye.
Thanks, guys.
Nice. I like that group.
They're awesome.
And they're close. I mean, I won't see you guys again for a while. I can drive down to Baltimore. I was halfway there this afternoon.
That's awesome.
It's refreshing to see the project do something actually worthwhile, right? In this space of sloshing money around. That's nice.
And with the environmental focus, it makes a lot of sense for them to be on Polygon, because that's a big concern for a lot of artists coming into the space is the environmental impact of energy on the Ethereum chain.
So John, let's save it. Let's talk offline.
I'm happy to address that thought anytime.
Yeah, let's not do that today. We're talking about NFT NYC, and let's just say the reason I interjected so quickly is let's just say very late or very so early you wouldn't GM. John had a conversation, and he's an ETH maxi, and he has a lot of very good points, and I'm an ETH maxi as well, and I agree with all of them.
By the way, you told the story earlier, but as we were walking around the street late at night at NYC NFT, we ran into Ferocious, who, by the way, also is maybe I shouldn't. He's a bit of an ETH maxi as well, so I'm not alone in my viewpoints. Some of the blue chips also think ETH is the future.
How about we pull up that picture? How about we pull up that picture of you and Ferocious?
I wish I could. I don't have it on the screen unless Malachi's got it ready to go.
Sure,
I want to say something like this is the biggest, worst feeling that I've probably had ever, because I was with y'all 30 minutes before, and I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna be responsible.
Look at that.
Is it out?
Yeah, it's up. You got it.
Oh, I can't see it. Yeah, so this is our friend Darren. This is John. I was with you guys, and I won't say the timestamp that this was taken, but I was up, and I'd been waiting forever. Rob's wife literally stole the hat that I was wearing for 12 hours before that, hoping to meet Ferocious. In an hour before you run into him, I'm like, nah, guys, I'm calling it a night.
The good news is I did mention you. I told him, I said, hey, check us out. Malachi, my partner, is a huge fan. He thinks you're a generational talent. So
I don't think I know. I think
it was
that
awesome, man.
Ferocious is one of the most important artists that we have in the space today.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Write it down.
For sure. For
All
sure.
right, so let's talk about the rest of NFT NYC. You know, Metageist, his drop tonight. He hung out with us at the party. What do y'all think about the drop?
I think we're all going to get the drop. I think you talked me into it because, like you said, there's no gas fees on Nifty Gateway anyways. What's $300? You know,
That's
that's
like
a quarter of a gas fee.
0.089 ETH, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't math.
And like you said, this might be a key to unlock future drops as well. So I think I should get one.
Yeah, that's my current.
Plus, he's a cool dude. Plus, he's just a cool guy.
Incredible human being.
Cool guy.
Kind, patient.
Yep. Open,
talented,
approachable.
Here's the interesting thing for me right now is that with these artists, these early artists that have been in the space for a while, like Metageist and everyone we mentioned on the last stream, and like potential blue chips, possible blue chips, etc. What we're finding is that more and more they're going to rewarding holders more than widening their aperture to bring in a lot of new ones. And so if you want entry, they're building their floor because they're rewarding their holders with additional floors. So the incentive to lower that drop is falling. So when I think about Rafik, when I think about Metageist, when I think about these projects, like a 5-minute open edition hasn't been done in a while by a meaningful artist, meaningful meaning popular and established and crypto native in a while, I believe, on Nifty Gateway. And so the fact that for $300, there's going to be another open edition that feels like it did in February when we were having fun with a lot of this stuff. And the art looks cool. I haven't seen, an art piece that looks this cool in a while. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, by the way, definitely not at $300. There hasn't been a 5-minute open edition. This is probably the lowest I've seen it.
Yeah.
So which is interesting because early on when they did these, you'd get like, I don't know, maybe 300 mints, 400 mints, maximum. Now at $300, man, we're going to see how popular Nifty Gateway's gotten. Right.
So it's a 5. Did y'all say it's a 5-minute open edition?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so there hasn't been an unbounded open in a while, has there?
No. But it's awesome. Like the XOR, what's it?
Yeah.
He had the open edition that had that's actually a good one because that one was going for.
It's only $99.
It was only $99.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
705.
Only 805 at 99.
705.
No, but the gas sold 2,309 editions.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't remember that. I thought there were more.
Huh?
Yeah, I thought there were more on the open edition.
Of this one?
Yeah. Was that the open edition? I can't remember now. I tried to bet on all of them.
The gas was open edition. Oh, there's 2,309.
There you go.
Yeah, that sounds more like
Sorry.
a $99 piece.
And even that was a lifetime ago. Like, I expect this one to, if the market's still going like I think it is, I think we're going to see 3,000, 4,000, maybe even 5,000 mints.
But that's good, right? That's a positive.
I agree.
Well, yeah,
we want this space to grow. We don't want it to be the same people shuffling money around. Like, let's bring in new entrants. And a lot of people poop on Nifty Gateway, but Nifty, like 40% of the drops were new wallets for the Rafik Anadol. 40% of people who are like may or may not be they're comfortable paying $50 for a ticket to an art show, may or may not be comfortable. And you only have a window while you're in that room to spend $2,000 or half an ETH to make a decision to buy your first NFT or your first NFT on Nifty Gateway. And like, that's probably an incredibly intimidating experience. Like when this whole thing started, I missed out on so much opportunity because I was like, $70, that's a lot. Like, I'm not going to spend that on this. Now I'm comfortable with it. So you imagine like how much this has grown and how many new people are hesitant to come in because the floor on a lot of these pieces is so high. And then people that are curious about NFTs, this is the biggest flaw we have right now, is that there's a lot of people, and this is why I commend the last project for being on Polygon, because there's so many people that are intellectually curious about NFTs, and they don't want to come in and spend $2,000 like the people that can afford to live in New York and go to the Rafik exhibit do. But they say, hey, I'd love to try $50, or I'd love to spend $100 on an NFT and see what happens. And then they go, okay, then they buy it on Coinbase. They find a way to put it in their wallet, and then they find a way to navigate to OpenSea, and it feels weird, and they're scared. And then they click confirm, and it's like, oh, it's more than double the price to pay the gas fee for that cheap piece of art. That's incredibly intimidating. Like, how do you navigate that? And that's the biggest
Polygon.
flaw. Go to Polygon or Tezos. Tezos is.
But let me tell you, so like that previous project, did you have to have Matic to buy it?
Yeah.
See, that'd be a little bit of a deterrent, I think.
OpenSea will convert it for you, though. Like if
easy.
yeah, OpenSea is actually pretty good about converting.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So what happens if he gets 5,000 mints for this open edition, and then later on he wants to try to reward current collectors, current piece holders? Now he's got to deal with a community that's 5,000 bigger than before. So it makes it even more complex and difficult to do that layering strategy. Thoughts?
Hold on. Say that again.
So, I mean, what's happening right now is it's easy to do the thing where you reward current holders because the community is not as big. So you're not going to dilute as much by introducing something for them. But for like a pure artist, not a PFP play, but a pure artist, if you have something out there that's got 5,000 mints, and then you're trying to reward that community, how do you do that? I mean, you give them a mint only, but then you have 5,000 people. Now it's another 5,000 supply mints.
Felicius already did this. It's drawings for mint for holders.
Yeah,
it's not equitable. So you can enter a drawing if you have it, but like Takashi Murakami, like my favorite artist of all time, and he's doing the Clone X project, and I'll do whatever I can to get that. But when you think about it, like they do 300 of each print. It's a print, right? And they sign the print, and you get the print. And the floor on those is like $2,000, $3,000, and they do 10, 20 prints a year. So like there is, and these are artists that have generational wealth times X, right? They can buy football teams, and you think about that challenge with these artists that are growing. Like the supply and demand is the biggest thing, and so if all I want is a ticket to the next drawing, right? Now that I have a Rafik Anadol, Rafik will, I guarantee it, have a drawing for Rafik holders. Yes. And if you've got a,
he already did. He did about a month ago. And they're doing now for $88,000. They're so beautiful. They're gorgeous. And it came with a physical too.
I mean, the drawing system works, but it also kind of sucks. Like, you almost just want to try to collect a bunch of drawing tickets for a bunch of artists, and then enter all the drawings and hope you get something that's good.
Or just support artists you like and enjoy the art. And if you get lucky, would you rather 20,000 people enter the drawing or 2,000 people be able to enter the drawing? And you're one of 2,000.
Yeah, for sure.
My new policy is I'm consolidating back to art, right? And I've been intentional. I've been talking about it for a while, right? Like I bought the X copy for 900, and now it's like 42 grand. And like, thank goodness, right? And I bought and sold V in Victoria quite a bit, and now I'm holding that forever. And recently I bought Thank You X, Avenue of Americas. I'm holding that forever. And then this morning I lucked into Slime Sunday, and I bought Mad Dog Jones. So like these aren't pieces that I'm holding. So I hope that I get another piece of art so that I can flip it for 80 grand. It's that I'm thinking like, my kids are going to be not digitally native, non-fungible token native, right? Like when you think about like the pass on for that to be like, holy crap, my dad like had a Mad Dog Jones 20 years
It's an
ago.
OG.
Exactly. And Lauren, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this.
I mean, same thing. Like, it's going to boom between Coinbase coming to the marketplace, Disney partnering with Vivi, Facebook changing their name. Like, this is pre-internet. Like, we're the generation that can tell our kids we didn't grow up with a smartphone. Like, I didn't have my first cell phone until I was in college.
Mhm.
And this is going to be the next thing that it's like, we were in the beginning of the NFT wave. Like, yeah, hope maybe we'll be the cool parents someday,
I'm wearing a hoodie with a crappy hat. I feel somewhat cool until I leave and everyone else is like, what are NFTs?
You have to put on your suit in the corporate world, and you're like, I can't wait to get my degenerate NFT hoodie back on.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I feel like I had two mistakes at Nifty NYC. One mistake was not going to enough people stuff, because apparently a lot of people met people, so I'm super jelly. But my other mistake was I didn't rehearse the answer to the question, what's an NFT or what's this NFT thing, before going there, because I got asked it so many times and I just had to fumble through. Like,
What is your
every
elevator
time.
speech, though, for what an NFT is? Like, how do you explain that in less than like a solid half hour?
Well, Malachi wrote an article about it on our website a long time ago, and he was like, what'd you say? Baseball cards or Pokemon cards are a good example.
Yeah, I mean, like
Fortnite skins.
Like the example that I use, and I've changed it like recently. It's all NFTs are is digital ownership, right? Like that it represents digital ownership, and like
of a unique good because it's non-fungible.
But
There's a
different,
unique property to it.
yeah, there's different levels of fungibility to it, but it represents trackable digital ownership, right? So like for instance, and I use this example and it's an extreme example, like our kids are likely going to 20 years from now, they're going to be like, you drove? Like that sounds barbaric. You weren't on a race car, like a course, and you drove? Like that what's wrong? People that you knew drank and drove? Like that sounds like the stupidest thing you could ever do in your entire life, right? And in the future, this problem will be solved. It will be safer to be in a car, it probably already is, that drives itself. And then like our kids are also going to be like, you bought skins for a video game that you didn't own. And if the video game went away, you had no ownership of it. Like, and they could release you could buy a skin for $30 and then tomorrow they could give the skin away for free to 5 million more people. And there's no tracking. There's in number of possibilities, right? It's like it's absurd. Like it's not the same. Like my one example is incredibly extreme and the other is like the same. Like our kids aren't going to they're going to be like, that's dumb. Like why would you spend money on something that you don't own? And like
that's the easiest thing for people to understand. Like the first people I've onboarded have been my gaming friends, because it's like we know how much time we spend grinding those characters for nothing, and there's already a black market for buying and reselling in-game gold, in-game character accounts. Like that's monetized. And the other part of the technology that's out of that discussion is embedding that contract in the blockchain, so that the creator and the user benefit from that secondary transaction.
100%. And this is the issue with old media, and I completely agree with you. It's like it violates. Activision Blizzard has a myriad of issues. Like we don't need to go into those, but like it violates terms of certain. You spend hundreds of hours getting the perfect sort of antiquity or whatever, and you can't sell it. Like it's illegal. You could get banned or anything else, and it's like you spent time, energy, and resources to create this thing that's 1 in a million opportunity, and you can't give it away. All you can do is hold it, and if you do, you could get in trouble. And this is the fundamental flaw. And my view has shifted, and I've talked about it a few times on the show. I used to say, who's going to be the first major platform to come on and be an NFT gaming company? And I realized that like the old way, like this is where DeFi wins. Like this old rigid stock market way, Activision Blizzard is beholden to stockholders, and they're not going to make it. Like all those people, all that leadership are so ingrained that Activision Blizzard isn't going to be like, hey, NFT holders, you get to own our IP. Like, they're not going to give up their IP for Diablo, StarCraft, Warcraft. It's not going to happen. But there's going to be a next generation of people that do come in and they create just as good or better. And the developers are going to realize, oh, cool, I have ownership not only of the IP, but I can own the characters that I'm building and independently from the company I work for. And so we're going to see this massive shift over the next 3 or 4 years. The best example I come up with is Tom Billieu, who always talks about, he wants to be the next Disney. And it's like, okay, Tom, like, that's a pretty lofty goal. But then you see Disney and DC sending these cease and desist orders and protecting their IP. And that is okay. They've earned it. That's their IP. But there's going to be new IP created, massive new IP created, that Bored Apes and everything else. And so it's not that they did things wrong. I'm still going to take my kids to the Marvel movies. I've said this a few times. That's awesome. But there's going to be new IP that's created that does give me digital ownership. And my hope is that all of our kids have the responsibility to say, I deserve that ownership. I paid for that ownership. And because I have invested in that, I have the right to do with it whatever I please. And we're seeing it with, the right to modify your iPhone, the right to repair your iPhone. Like all of this stuff is becoming the forefront of what people are considering. Sorry for my diatribe.
In his platform, he's talked about monetizing fan art. So DeviantArt is a huge platform out there where people make fan art for their own enjoyment. And there are some incredible artists on there. They can't resell any of it because, Disney will slap the cease and desist or whomever their character is. He's talked about launching, I think he's calling it Renders, a website that will encourage and monetize, fan art based off of his IP. And so now you've got hundreds, if not thousands of artists selling your work, advertising your characters. Like, harness that power.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's what you see with Twitch Pixel Studios is doing right now. We're probably going to have them on in the next couple weeks. But they're doing the same type of thing. They're building a whole cartoon universe with the characters, with the sets and things, and you can own a piece of all that. So as they'll continue to succeed, your assets will continue to grow in value. So Twitch Pixel Studios is going to be, I think, going to be really big. And we're going to see more of these come up. Yeah, we're going to see more of these guys pop up. Yeah.
There will be the next Marvel. There will be the next Disney. There will be the next Star Wars, and it will be on the blockchain. It's self-evident at this point.
Yep. Mal, let me ask you a question. Just throw this out there to the metaverse here. Like, Marvel and Disney succeeded because their IP was awesome. Kids growing up watching that, and people tuned in because the content was incredible. Now, you have these, I guess, player-owned, people-owned content where it's kind of like, you have these this tribalism that pops up when you have monetary involvement in something, right? Are we ever going to see content in this model that rivals the truly organic and natural following that Disney and Marvel created? Or is it going to be a lot of inorganic shilling that happens because people have bags they're trying to...
I'd love for the others to answer it, but my quick response would be like Counter-Strike, right? Like Counter-Strike started as a Half-Life mod that became one of the biggest games of a generation. Dota was a Warcraft, StarCraft mod. I may be wrong. Forgive me. Don't kill me in the comments. Warcraft 3 or StarCraft mod that evolved into its own Steam game that has made people millions upon millions of dollars. So we've seen periods in the past where either the lack of protection or the encouragement of innovation have allowed creativity to move the market and do it in a healthy way. the way that we are approaching DeFi as a mindset for ownership and creativity and ingenuity is encouraging the thing that, and my keyword probably for the next 5 years is going to be intellectual curiosity. And I think that IP like this encourages intellectual curiosity. What can I do with my dead sushi ape? Like, I could literally start a sushi restaurant or a gallery or anything else. And that provides limitless possibilities. And so encouraging the creative behavior is incredibly exciting for me.
I think as you find more artists find out about the NFT space and find how easily they can get connected to people to start making amazing things, you're going to see that happen. I mean, as big as Disney's IP was, I mean, you take like the movie Moana, and you've got the soundtrack from, Lin-Manuel Miranda, who came out of totally left field with Hamilton the musical. They found their main voice actress on YouTube. Like these, and people are attracted, the best of the best wants to go work for Disney because that's where the best of the best are. When they start coming to these NFT platforms and there's a way to make money so they can feed their family, make amazing artwork, have more control over the project they're involved with, you're going to see a migration of that talent into the space, because it's incredible that you can, in my 1 month here, the kind of people that I've gotten contact with has been far beyond 5 years of trying to do artwork outside of the NFT space.
Yeah, and I kind of I like, this is a whole new model. Like the old model was about driving value to your shareholders and your owners. The new model is about driving value to the community. And I think it's just a different model, different way of creating content and creating works and funding those. I don't really think the shilling versus organic thing is really fair in comparison to Disney. If you think of the fact that marketing is basically shilling yourself, and then think about how Disney World was built, Disneyland was built in order to drive people to want to interact with their various IP assets. So that you can't really say Disney was organic. I mean, it was him. Yeah, it was him. It was Walt Disney with a genius approach to marketing that made Disney what it is, in addition to having, like Lauren said, the most talented people. So it's just a matter of getting, like, we already have tons and tons of super talented people in the Nifty space, but there's still lots and lots of super talented people not in the Nifty space. And I think once the word gets a little bit further out there, then we'll start seeing projects. Already you can see the scale of projects is increasing. Like, just look at Spooky Fish relative to where Gutter Cats was when it was trying to launch, or even the Pickle project. Like, it was literally described itself as, I'm just a pickle project, and he made $500,000 or whatever. Like, people are, we actually are seeing a little bit fewer projects, and I'm basing this on Malachi's alpha notice that he not alpha notice.
I curate it now. I only show one or two.
Okay.
I don't show the 25. It's increasing every day.
But there's a lot more higher quality, higher effort projects. Like, they were talking about, they spent 6 months on that project. They were at the tail end of 6 months on that project. 3 months ago, you would spend like a week or maybe 3 or 4 days on a project before you would release it. Like the famously the Stoner Cat play project, they did it literally overnight, launched it the day after the Stoner Cats released. So I think the bar is continuing to be raised on all these projects. We're also getting a lot more manpower as people are being drawn in from the outside. And once, I don't know if we've hit that critical milestone with, Facebook and Microsoft and all these other big companies that are getting in, but we're very close to that critical point where it becomes more unusual to not be involved with Nifties than to be involved with Nifties. And once we get into that world, then I think we're going to see stuff that's rivals Marvel and Star Wars and all the rest.
Hell yes.
Well, good morning. And I think the future is bright for everybody and for this whole space. I'm looking forward to both what the gaming will do. I mean, and also just the entertainment IP as well. You know, everything. So
For sure.
Cool.
everyone, we had a great time. Thanks for joining the stream. I think we're going to be on over the weekend as well. So guys, look forward to that and jump on, but have a great evening. Thank you, everyone.
See you guys.
See ya.